we recap last week's monumental event, Battlefield. Where on God's green earth is normal Steve? And details on the Battlefield press conference. Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ricky Sailboat and welcome back to another episode of Wrestle News Weekly. Now we have a whole bunch of things to get covered. Last week was Battlefield. That's right, April 23rd, Sunday. We finally held the Battlefield very long, very awaited event. It was over an hour of non-stop hard-hitting matches from different competitors of all shapes and sizes, championship matches. Oh my gosh, it had it all. Now let's get ready for a little recap. Mr. Crazy started off the night with an open challenge. He wants to prove himself yet again, show the world that he is still a fighting warrior. Who answered the call? It was none other than King Rhodes, his former rival from his AWC days all those years ago. They had quite the bout, but eventually it was Mr. Crazy that came up with the win. But what did he say after the match? He wants to fight Johnny Champion. What is Johnny Champion gonna say to that? Well, we're just gonna have to find out. After that, we move forward to the Ramona KFC Championship match. It was Magic Magdalena versus Baghead, with Magic Magdalena easily picking up the win. I don't think Baghead has ever even won a match, but after the match is the important part because the lights went out in the arena. I don't know how that happens when it's an outside event, but anyways, it happened. And a mysterious mass Derek Dungeons, by the looks of it, appears out of nowhere and certainly spooks Magic Magdalena. What does this mean? Then we turn to a backstage promo with Wet Knife and Lil Dick, Wet Dick! But unfortunately, the promo has got cut short because Lil Dick has turned on Wet Knife! Who could have seen this coming? Why can't tag teams stay together longer in SuperCharged Wrestling? It's a curse, I tell you. And then we moved right along to Triple Threat Mayhem Pub versus Flippy Felipe versus one half of the Invisible Boys tag team, Invisible Boy. It was quite the bout, arguably a match of the night. At one point, Flippy Felipe powerbombed Invisible Boy off the top of the roof. What a match. But at the end, it was Invisible Boy who came up with the win, and Pun Flippy Felipe set their differences aside and worked together to beat the Invisible Boys. Next up, it was probably the bloodiest match of the night. It was a mousetrap match, Karate Chop versus Gunnar Jones. You know, they were arguing about the whereabouts of normal Steve, and in quite the impressive battle, it ended with a massive chop of doom. Karate Chop gets the win. Then we moved on to the supposedly planned boxing match between Schizo and Kimchi, but alas, Kimchi never showed up to battle. This made Schizo angry, cut a promo in the back saying that this is not over yet. Why didn't Kimchi show up? Well, we might have more on that later. And then it was probably the most anticipated grudge match of the night, Lulu versus Boo Boo, the Battle of the Crazy Chickens. In quite an impressive bout, Lulu eventually low blows Boo Boo for the win, a dirty tactic indeed. Lulu gets the pin. I have a feeling that this rivalry isn't over though until Boo Boo gets some retribution. And then of course we have our main event of the evening. It's Johnny Champion versus Professor Fart in a ladder match winner take all for the SCW and EBF World Championships. A long, hard-fought battle to the very end. It was Johnny Champion who picks up yet another win in his string of wins. He has never been beaten, he has never been pinned, and that certainly wasn't the case for Battlefield. Johnny Champion is your new EBF champion and still the SuperCharged Wrestling champion. Well, there you have it, folks. A complete rundown of all the matches for Battlefield, and of course Battlefield is free to watch right here on this YouTube channel. Just click the link in the description and you can watch the entire show, match to match, beginning bell to bell. It's available for you now. Battlefield, what an incredible event. I had a good time and I certainly can't wait for the next one. If you'd like to support us so we can continue bringing you these amazing events, well, we actually have some brand new merch. Check it out! Boy, I can't wait to get my hands on all of those designs. I need to throw away this shit here. It's not even a wrestling shirt. Usually I wear wrestling shirts every week, but they were all dirty today. Well, looks like this one's dirty too. Anyways, we actually have some new details regarding the Battlefield post-press conference, media scrum, whatever you'd like to call it. It's gonna air this Friday, May 12th. It's just gonna be a sit-down with all the stars of SuperCharged Wrestling. It's a time for them to reflect on all of their matches that they've had at the show, and what's next, what's looking forward for them, and it's gonna be an interesting time. Friday, May 12th, Mr. Boss will be there. I will be there in attendance as well. It's going to be quite the event. Don't forget to watch it. That is coming soon. But we must get something out of the way first. And this is usually a part of the show that I love doing. But this week, not so much. It's time for Wrestler of the Week. And our Wrestler of the Week is Johnny Champion. Johnny Champion, once again proving why he is the greatest in the world. Once again, he's never been pinned. He's never been beaten. He's never lost a match, and that was the case come Battlefield when he beat Professor Fart for the EBF and SCW World Championships. He doesn't even care about extreme backyard fighting in the history of that company, but he is now their champion. My goodness, I had no choice but to give him Wrestler of the Week. So, congratulations, Johnny Champion, the first two-time Wrestler of the Week. Congratulations. Got nothing else to say about the guy. I don't like him. So, I know many of you are concerned about the whereabouts of Normal Steve, and nobody is more concerned than I am. Because Gunnar Jones, he's been hiding away. So let me just give you the rundown real quick. At our last event, even before Battlefield, Normal Steve was supposed to have a match with a mystery opponent. And who decided to come out? It's Gunnar Jones from Extreme Backyard Fighting. If you don't know who he is, I would send you to a playlist of his greatest moments or whatever, but in reality is he doesn't have any, because he's a menace, he's a monster, he's a menace to society, and I don't know why Mr. Boss still employs him, actually. I've been trying to get a word with Mr. Boss about Normal Steve's whereabouts, and I was hoping I'd have some sort of news for you guys here today, but the fact is that I don't. Normal Steve has still been kidnapped, he is still missing. Pug tried to warn us. Everyone tried to warn us about how much of a danger Gunnar Jones is to our locker room, and nobody seems to pay attention. Every week, I send my best prayers, my best wishes to Normal Steve, and what? Nothing ever happens because Gunnar Jones is still out there. Gunnar Jones still has not faced repercussions. Yes, he lost at Battlefield, but that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't... Gunnar Jones, if you're out there watching this, I hope you... Ricky Sailboat of Wrestle News Weekly. You've been running your mouth a lot about me, but at Battlefield I showed exactly what I was gonna do. I beat down Karate Chop. He beat me, he won the match, he won the battle, but as the old saying goes, he hasn't won the war. But Ricky, you keep running your mouth every week, and it seems like you want to get involved in this war, and I think you forget how much of a dangerous man I can be. You know what I've done. Isn't that right, Steve? What are you doing with that? Normal Steve has been here with me for a long time, and I'm afraid he's never gonna see the sunlight ever again. Unless you are man enough to step up to me, then maybe I consider letting Normal Steve go.
Ricky, are you there?
Shut up! Sorry about that.
So you fight me in my boiler room. And maybe we can talk some things out afterwards. The ball's in your court, Ricky Sailboat. Ball's in your court.
Please, let me go.
Shut up!
That'll be it for the end of the episode.